Growing up in Colorado Springs, I had a love for the mountains that was deep. My only goal in life had been to have a horse ranch in the mountains.
We're Jim and Kathie Yost. We now live near the little town of Kremling, Colorado, about 20 miles out of town, atop a mountain at 9,000 feet in beautiful Colorado.
I had made the decision early on that I was never going to be a missionary, never going to do anything in the ministry. In my senior year of high school, I picked up a newspaper and looked at it. There was an article in there, just a little clipping by Billy Graham. It told how many people in the world had probably never been exposed to the knowledge of Christ. That moved me. I got down on my knees and I said, God, wherever, whatever. I ended up at Northwestern. Met Kathie there, ended up marrying her. And when I was a senior, I was working in the mailroom with Steve Sheldon. And he had decided he was going to join Wycliffe Bible Translators. The more I talked to him, the more I got interested and decided that's where I wanted to go. We went down to be with the Waorani in 1973.
The Ecuadorian government had asked for an anthropologist. And in being an anthropologist, you want to write about their daily life, about their philosophy of life, and so we just lived there.
When I came in, I was the first male to even be allowed to spend the night in the tribe. They had a history of killing anybody from the outside world who came in there. They, in 1956, killed 5 missionaries. Among them was Roger Youderian, who had been a student at Northwestern College. Their existence, their language, their culture, they were on the cusp of entering into the outside world. I couldn't leave. I said, I've got to stay and see if I can't help them make this transition without destroying them completely. And really fell into it. These became friends. You've never been around people who enjoyed life more than they do. Laughter, oh, incredible, amongst people who had a reputation as killers, and a deserved reputation.
It's very interesting the way God changes your outlook and your perspective. I never felt nervous or fearful, or it's just amazing to me, even to this day.
Turns out they're just human beings with a lot of fears, a lot of anger, not knowing in many cases that there's an answer for that. And as they gained that answer, it really transformed them and me. Thought I was going to stay a year, ended up staying for 10 years, and now returning almost every year for 50 years.
He coined the term mission of presence, because that's kind of what we did. We didn't preach. He did help in language matters and stuff, but we just lived there. And we found out much later the impact that had.
I learned after a number of years that the mission of presence is so far more important than the mission of giving presents. Being present, not giving presents, is what counts. Living with them, feeling their sad moments, their happy moments.
Learning their language,
oh,
that was a big one to
yeah.
them. I had a mother come once with a baby that had no milk, but she didn't have milk, and so I helped with that. And just, they were people, and to treat them like they were people, not that they were unusual.
If you read Matthew 25, Jesus said, I was thirsty, you gave me drink. I was hungry, you gave me food. I was in prison, you visited me. I was naked, you gave me clothing. And they answered, Lord, when did we ever give you drink or food or visit you? And he said, when you did it for the least of these,
You did it for me.
you've done it for me.
That's the mission of presence, being present in their daily life.
Something I learned at Northwestern that has influenced my entire life since then is that the total aspect of who we are, everything about us, is something God can use. And it doesn't mean you have to be one thing or another, as long as you are committed to allow Him to do whatever. God, make me willing to be willing to do thy will. Philippians 2:13. It's a God who energizes your will to do His will and to accomplish His purposes. God was there every step.
A commitment to the Lord and your faith and trust can lead you into fantastic experiences, really, doing things you never thought you could ever do. You never dream you'd do. Pretty cool.